I told my wife, I said, I came out and I said, hey, listen, Michelle, you know how lucky you are. I'm the second most handsome guy in baseball, manager. And she was cooking dinner and she didn't miss a beat. She turned around and she said, so everybody else must have been tied for first.
Robbie Thompson's got jokes. He's the handsomest manager in the entire world from the Nosebleeds.
Second most.
Welcome in. Dude, this is a change.
I can't believe we opened with a comedy.
Of course we did. Dude, it's like SNL cold open. But Pat O'Leary, Vince Lobiondo, and Sarah are here via satellite. And so is Taylor, who is just an expert at audio and the like. I'm really grateful that you're on board with us and that you're able to play that spot. But Rob Thompson, let's address that real quick before we get into the Birds Giants. Rob Thompson was voted the second handsomest manager in Major League Baseball.
This is your
By
open?
the way,
I guess so.
it is just it is
Eagles play
it is so flawed.
I mean, it is more important.
It is absolutely flawed though the way that they go about this because they
Are you calling him not hot?
No, I think he's the hottest.
Who was
He's
number
the-
one?
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I wish
Well, you should know this.
I know.
If you're going to do a whole segment on
I mean,
this, you should know this.
there's
Dude,
no
there
way,
are
Rob.
zero attractive managers in
There's-
Major League Baseball right now.
Gabe
Zero.
Kapler.
I mean,
Joe
Gabe
Girardi?
I
Kapler.
mean, he's not a manager.
Gabe
Okay.
Kapler.
Gabe Kapler probably
Okay,
was
Gabe
first.
Kapler's probably the hottest.
Gabe
But-
Kapler's a smoke show.
Yeah, but so is the guy that used to manage the Cardinals, Mike Matheny. I call him Mike McDreamy. I mean, he's hot. Like, not for nothing. I mean, that's a good-looking man. But listen, Rob Thompson should be number one. Then I go Mike Matheny. Then I go Gabe Kapler. Brian Snitker's up there. He looks like a turkey. But Brian Snitker, he's like so...
That's not real.
Where's
he's
Dusty
like
Baker
so
fall?
Braves manager. He's like so ugly that like he's cute.
Where's Dusty Baker
Dusty Baker's 72 years old. You know what I mean? I mean,
Is he so
white,
old that
white
he's
guys
cute?
only.
Yeah.
no,
right.
no. It's, no.
Surprise,
Dude,
surprise.
it has nothing to
Man.
do with that.
Oh.
I just think Dusty Baker is not in the top 5.
That
Tony
a MAGA
La Russa.
hat?
He might be top 10. Tony La Russa's got to be bottom 50, out of the 30 Major League teams. But I can't think of another manager that's literally hotter than Rob Thompson besides Kapler. and
Charlie
Matheny.
Manuel in his prime.
I know active managers. Like I can't imagine. All right, who do we play in the playoffs? The Cardinals.
The Cardinals.
That's Marmol or
Braves.
whatever the hell his name is. A good-looking guy.
Padres.
Yeah, but Bob Melvin. I don't know, man. 70-some years old. See, I mean
I think you're just ageist.
it's just not a compliment, though. You know what I mean? Because there's like not a very attractive mix. I don't know. There's definitely hotter NFL head coaches. McFleur or LaFleur, McFleur. I'm combining
you
the
combine, yeah.
I'm combining the two hottest coaches.
He's just
McVay,
he's thinking about a McFlurry.
McVay and LaFleur are my top 2. Sirianni, when he shaves, is probably top 3.
Fuck was that?
Sirianni-
What the absolute fuck was
Nick
that?
Sirianni, when he shaves, is top 5.
What's his name?
Sirianni. Nick Sirianni, when he shaves, is top 5. But he looks horrible with whatever he's got going on today. He needs like a shape up or something. He needs something.
He's losing sleep, bro. He's just all night.
He's just all night on the
game
Pizza
planning for
Hut
the
app.
Giants.
He's just trying to order Pizza Hut all night, surrounded by amazing pizza shops in South Philly, and he goes, Pizza Hut? Whatever, we'll get into that later.
You're one to talk about appearances.
Thanks, man. Am I on
Vince,
TV all
just
the
so you
time?
know, Seamus walked out to my car today in a short sleeve shirt and shorts.
What's
Is that a
wrong with you?
violation, Vince?
No, it's cold out.
It's 45 degrees, 48 degrees in January.
I mean, I don't know if that's shorts and short sleeve weather just yet.
You should see me up the mountains, man. It's going to be a street
Yeah, he's
show.
gonna be butt naked.
It's
Oh,
gonna
I
be,
mean, yeah.
there's no laws up there. You know what I mean?
He's gonna be a
Guess
Yeti
not.
running around.
There's no laws at the pleasure dome.
You look like a Phillies employee tonight.
You do.
Well, I mean, that is my aspiration. I want to be the next Harry Cavill.
Dress for the job you want.
I dress for the job I want every day of the week, and that's how I go about my business. But
Aren't they required to wear pants?
let's talk now. let's talk about the Eagles hosting a divisional round game on Saturday night.
Saturday at 8:15.
For some reason, they give the two major markets, New York and Philly, the night game. Yeah, I don't understand it, but
Because it's prime time. Well, I mean,
yeah,
I guess
'cause it's
both
prime
games
time.
are prime time, but
all right. Before we get into the preview of the game and such, because we have plenty of time to do that. Do you prefer, just in general? I'm not talking about playoffs. I'm talking about in general. Do you prefer the 1 o'clock, the 4 o'clock, or the primetime 8 o'clock game or 8:30, whatever?
Well, if it's regular season, I'm gonna be honest. I'd prefer like a 4 o'clock game.
See, I'm against the 4 o'clock game.
I like it. I like it just because it's like that perfect little medium. So if you go down and like tailgate and stuff, and you get a good amount of tailgate in, and you get home and at a decent hour, you're not up until like fucking 2 a.m. the night before you have to work.
That's true.
So that's a nice plus.
What about you, Vince?
I'm stuck between. I think I'll go the 1 p.m. game. You know, I love throwing on the Eagles, throwing on Red Zone on a second monitor. But I honestly do really like the primetime games because I don't know. There's like a certain like cool feeling about like everyone is watching my team right now.
Well, yeah,
You know what I
and I
mean?
agree with that. But the reason why I like the 1 o'clock game is because if you can wake up, say it's an away game. I like the 1 o'clock away game because you can wake up. Let's say sleep in on a Sunday, wake up at like 11:30.
You're not feeling the pressure of a tailgate.
Not feeling the pressure of a tailgate. You can have like whatever, you eat a donut or whatever, and then you start cracking the beer early. I mean, you can crack a beer early, and nobody can judge you because the game is coming on soon. So you could start drinking as soon as you wake up, and that's why I prefer the 1 o'clock game.
Yeah, but you could also do that with any football.
I can't.
Well, that's not true.
Because the lightweight in me is just going to make me fall off a bar stool again, and we don't want that to happen.
I remember being younger, being a kid, and like waking up on a Sunday, like Eagles getting ready to kick off at 1, and my mom would take us to like the 12:30 mass. And it's like,
Yeah,
oh,
dude,
dude, that's
I'm
the
gonna
worst.
miss
Evil.
kickoff, you motherfucker.
Evil.
But see, like, and your mom's a nice lady, but I go, that is very bad. That's you can't do that. Like,
Thankfully, I'm a grown man now, and I can make my own decisions, and I will gladly be watching football.
Except on Christmas and Easter.
I mean, dude, to be honest with you, I haven't gone to Christmas or Easter.
I went to-
Mass.
Yeah, I went to Christmas Eve Mass this year during the Eagles-Cowboys game, and I just streamed it on my phone, and I got in a lot of trouble for that after.
Oh, did the priest come down and say, "Hey, come to my office"?
No, I know better than to do that.
Okay, never go behind the altar with a priest. Okay,
I
just
know
don't
better.
do it because you
That
know
was
what?
James' favorite spot as a kid.
And I'm not saying like wherever you go, St. Matt's or whatever the hell Northeast church that you go to. I don't know which one you go to, Cecilia's, whatever. I don't know, but so I don't know the priest there.
How
I'm
many
just saying,
Northeast churches do you know?
I know all of them, but
Yeah, I feel like I know all of them, too, from playing, like, CYO basketball and shit.
Yeah, it's pretty
Right.
easy to like when you grew up playing CYO. It's pretty easy to
it's
name all the places
and that's
around
how
here.
you know. But also like
Seamus just knows because he's
no,
weird.
because my aunts were like we'll be driving around Northeast Philly. They'll go to like Shopping Bag, or rest in peace by the way to the Shopping Bags, no more there in Mayfair Mall. But like we'll be driving around the Northeast, and then every church that we or closed down church will be, oh, that was St. Bart's, oh, that's St. Tim's, oh, that's St. Matt's, oh, that's St. Cecilia's, oh, this is that. I don't give a shit what church it is.
You secretly do.
Oh my god.
But you wanted to tell everybody else about it?
But anyway,
Anyway, the Eagles play a playoff game this Saturday.
so
But
is this a trap game, Vince?
no playoff game is ever going to possibly be a trap game. But, like, I don't know. Like, I'm going to be honest. I actually think that it's getting to the point where people are not believing in the Eagles enough. I guess I'll run
Which is
through my
ridiculous.
thoughts real quick.
I disagree.
I get the feeling that the national media has suddenly shifted and done a 180 on Daniel Jones after one good game against the worst or second worst defense in the
Mhm.
whole league. The Minnesota Vikings defense is stinky dog shit sewer water, lighted on fire, bad.
Yeah,
and
but
like
Danny Dimes has been getting compared to Josh Allen by
Which is
some ESPN
insane.
analysts.
He
You
put
know,
up
you heard
one-
about that.
one good game against the worst defense in the league, and everyone suddenly forgets that he's not good. He's been bad. I mean, sure, you could argue, oh, maybe this is the catalyst where he turns it around. Maybe, but like, let's see it against a good defense first. Like, let's see what he has for the Eagles. You know, there's no Hassan Reddick on the Minnesota Vikings that's going to be hitting them after every throw. There's no, Hargrave. There's no Josh Sweat. All these guys on our defense aren't on the Vikings, and like,
No, the Eagles' defense is on a different planet compared
Right,
to
so, like,
Minnesota's defense.
let's see
So-
what Daniel Jones has to offer against a defense that isn't just Swiss fucking cheese.
and we'll find out. But for a guy like Tiki Barber, who was a veteran in the NFL, who should know a lot better than the nonsense that he's spewing, for Tiki Barber to say that Daniel Jones is Josh Allen-esque is
Like,
just
come
absolutely
on.
absurd. See, and that's why I believe that these ESPN, whatever, FS1, whatever channel you're on nationally for sports, I believe these guys are told to say wild shit to draw up a conversation, to
listen,
stir controversy.
I-
There is no way Tiki Barber believes that Daniel Jones is the second coming of Josh Allen.
I don't want to be the one to make this connection, and I've said stuff like this before, but just notice how every time a white quarterback comes out of nowhere and has like a couple good games, how he's crowned. If it's Brock Purdy, he's the next Tom Brady. If it's Daniel Jones, he's now elite. But when a black quarterback has a season that is elite, an MVP season even, there are questions that float around the media are, is it even that him, or is he even that good, or is it really the system?
You're
see
not
that
referring
with-
to anyone specifically, are you?
You see that with Jalen Hurts. You've
Yeah,
seen that
with
with
Jalen, of course.
Lamar Jackson. They can have elite seasons, fully MVP seasons, and their talent, if it's even them that is the reason for the team's success, that's all in question. But Daniel Jones has one good game, and he's given elite status. Brock Purdy has a couple good starts, and he's the next Tom Brady. Do you see a pattern here? It seems like the white
true.
quarterbacks get all the praise when the black quarterbacks face criticisms that make no sense.
Well, that's absolutely a thing. Now, Pat, I want to ask you something that I've been monitoring, like Giants Twitter. You know what I mean? I
And
want
you've been listening to the Giants
and I've been
radio
listening to WFAN.
because you're a psychopath.
I've been listening to Roberts and whatever the hell his name is, Carton and Roberts. I've been listening to the whole thing, and I just wanted to get
So
like
strange.
a pulse of like what these New York Football Giants fans are thinking. And let me tell you something. I heard a lot of nonsense. And by the way, Carton on WFAN is a Jets fan, so he's actually pulling for the Eagles this week, so shout out to him. Used to work in Philadelphia, by the way, and he's a felon too, but, that's neither here nor there. Neither here nor there.
You don't have to give this guy's whole biography.
But they were saying that a caller, of course, was talking Super Bowl. Can you believe the Giants can have a path to the Super Bowl? And then another caller brought up the fact that Jalen Hurts against the Bucks last playoffs shit the bed. What am I missing here? Have they not been paying attention to their own games?
Everyone
in which
has-
the Eagles beat them twice.
Everyone has
The first time pretty
forgotten.
handily. I just don't get like all of a sudden they don't understand that Daniel Jones is still trash. I mean, let's be honest, he's fine, but I mean compared to Hurts, he's trash. He's nothing special.
It seems like everyone has forgotten who the top dog in the NFC is. I woke up today, and the first thing I saw on Get Up on ESPN is I forget who exactly. I
That
think
was brutal.
It might have even been Stephen A. saying that the NFC Championship is really the Niners-Cowboys game. It's as if, again, I'm not gonna do this. I feel like every year, every Philadelphia team, you have to turn them into an underdog. And I'm not gonna say the Eagles are an underdog, obviously, because they're not. But it's giving those kinds of vibes again, where no one respects us. Everyone is saying, "Oh, it's the Cowboys." Cowboys Niners is the real championship. It's
I'll tell you
did
what.
you forget about the whole season?
Nationally, I believe that it's fair to say that the Eagles are the underdogs. Because they nationally we are the underdogs. They do
What
not.
does that mean?
They do not
Yeah, what-
respect.
Well,
they do
he's
not
saying that
respect
I
the-
wouldn't say.
They do not respect the Philadelphia Eagles.
I
I'm
get what
talking about
Seamus
these-
is saying.
Taylor,
He's
I'm
not
talking about
talking-
these. I'm talking about these specific talking heads that are just not paying attention to the Eagles, that are still saying that Jalen's probably still hurt, even though he hasn't been listed on the injury report. He's been practicing. He's clearly fine.
Correct me if I'm
People are
wrong, Seamus.
saying-
What you're trying to say is not that the Eagles are underdogs in this game against the Giants, but that in the NFC right now, the Eagles are underdogs.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
that makes
From a
more
national
yeah, but
perspective.
that's exactly
At first,
what I
at
was
first, I
saying.
thought you were saying that the Eagles were underdogs to the Giants.
No,
I was like,
obviously,
what?
obviously not. I
I'm
mean,
just-
obviously not.
What's
Like, this
confusing
man's
me
been
about
listening to
the
too much New York radio.
Yeah,
what's
no,
confusing
no.
me about this Giants thing?
I'm saying
is
in the
that,
NFC, none of these talking heads are pulling for the Eagles or even picking the Eagles.
Yeah, no, it's natural.
And so that is an underdog. That is they're underdogs.
One
because
thing
of that.
confusing me with the Giants thing is that nationally speaking, most people picked the Giants to beat the Vikings because everyone thought the Vikings were frauds.
I mean,
And,
most people did, yeah.
Meaning, I'm sure that all of New York that are Giants fans were also picking themselves to upset the Vikings. But then when that upset happens, suddenly everyone's like, Daniel Jones is elite and the Giants are going to the Super Bowl. Was that your belief all along? Because if you thought the Giants were going to win the game, why are you acting so surprised and making these grand statements when they actually won? Unless from the beginning,
it's because they were not expecting the Giants to go on a run this season. They were not expecting
Right.
But, of course, to get to a divisional round.
I'm just confused that I'll put myself in the shoes. The Giants are going to win this game. I have no doubt about it. The Vikings are frauds. The Giants are going to win. but then they win, and I'm like suddenly, oh well, now that they won, they're going to the Super Bowl. It's like, well, why didn't I think that last week if I already thought they were going to win anyway?
Well, because they deep down they know, you know what I mean? Like deep down they weren't buying that the Giants were Super Bowl
It's just
contenders.
like suddenly the whole national media is running away with this, like not saying they think they're going to beat us, but this like, oh, the Giants, man, they might be for real. It's like we all thought they were going to beat the Vikings. The Vikings are frauds. Like let's not act like the Giants are some elite team now.
Well, they're clearly not.
But
I mean,
also, I think it's just natural to root for the underdog. Like, I mean, we all have said it many times. It's like,
True.
Storyline-wise.
yeah, storyline wise especially, but like also like even in college shit, like obviously you were rooting for TCU to win the national championship. You knew it wasn't gonna happen, but like, hey, underdog stories
no
much more
college no college talk, please.
no,
You
but
know,
it's but I'm saying it's much more compelling. I thought you wanted to talk college.
I
college.
agree. If you're a neutral fan, yeah, you're rooting for the underdog. I just don't understand from like a talking head perspective about how like again like the Cowboys Niners is the real NFC Championship game, like that you're supposed to keep your feelings out of it.
Clicks.
Yeah, I agree. It is for clicks. It is for clicks, and that's what it's become. It's become a hot take.
I've lost a lot of respect for not that I know this is going to be like a laughed off statement because like who had respect for ESPN anyway, but like
only Scott Van Pelt.
Well, between this and like I'm not going to go off on a tangent here just while we're on the topic of ESPN, the whole like Dana White situation and how like Stephen A. Smith like went on there to like back Dana White, and then another ESPN MMA reporter came out with a tweet saying like, hey, just so you all know, like we don't all have this soft of a take on domestic violence. ESPN just told us to not say anything about it because ESPN is taught. No, it was a different guy. Ariel is not ESPN.
He hasn't been on ESPN for a while.
Dana White fucking hates him because he's the only real journalist in the sport. But basically, that guy saying like, the UFC and ESPN are so closely tied that if Dana White has a downfall and UFC does, then it hurts ESPN. So basically, like, fucking zip it. ESPN is just a shit show.
All right. Now looking forward to Saturday night, which first of all I think is absolutely phenomenal. Philadelphia on a Saturday night. Eagles in the divisional round playoff game hosting.
It's going to be electric.
It's going to be absolutely electric. I assume that they're going to open the lots up earlier than usual. I just assume that because of the playoffs. Many people are not going to survive until game time. I mean that's
probably won't.
That's just the laws of nature.
No, people will be drinking for 12 straight hours.
Yeah, people are going to be drinking and they're going to pass out by the second half. Let's just be real.
Yeah.
So, but either way, it's going to be electric.
A Saturday playoff game is just so awesome.
Genius.
And
it's going to be crazy.
Like on the topic of the schedules, real quick before we like, do you use? I know it's fuck the Cowboys. We're all Eagles fans. Fuck the Cowboys. Hate them.
Well, I'm rooting for the Cowboys this week.
It is
Absolutely
absolute bullshit that the Bucks and the Cowboys played on Monday, and they have the Niners are getting an extra day of rest, and it's just that is so dumb. And like people comment like, oh well, then if you didn't want to be at this disadvantage, like get a higher seed. It's like, dude, the lower seed means you have no control over where you play and who you play. It shouldn't be when you play. Like you shouldn't get rewarded with an extra day of rest. I think that is absurd, and they should have just had all the games on Sunday. There shouldn't have been a Monday night game.
Yeah, I
yeah,
agree,
but Vince,
they
it's
have
super
the
wild card
contracts.
weekend.
Yeah, they have the contracts with the
Super.
ESPN has to have, one last hurrah with Buck and Aikman, right?
Yeah.
for the
Listen,
season.
I agree. It's just if I was a fan of a team that was in that position, or even like a coach or a GM or something that was in that position, I would be kind of pissed off that I'm getting the other team's getting an extra day of rest.
I don't think one extra day is going to do much, but I understand what you're saying. But looking forward to the Dallas game this weekend. I'm rooting for Dallas because I think the most like our Super Bowl would be Cowboys Eagles.
No,
and
our
an
Super
NFC
Bowl is the
Championship
Super
game.
Bowl.
Yeah, no shit. But there would be more energy surrounding that game than the actual Super Bowl.
Can I be?
I really believe that.
What?
Can I be a
Dallas
coward?
Eagles to go. It
No,
will
there
be.
wouldn't.
Especially, I'm talking
No.
more so for the casual fans. If
What?
Dallas Eagles.
Everybody watches the Super Bowl.
I am,
What are you talking
I am
Casual
rooting,
fans watch
I
the
am
Super
rooting
Bowl.
I am rooting for the Cowboys. Eagles Cowboys NFC Championship game.
Can
would
I
be
can I be a
absolutely
coward for a
electric.
minute?
Colin?
I want to be. I just want to be a coward for 1 second.
Yeah, Colin.
Obviously, an Eagles Cowboys NFC Championship would be so fucking awesome.
Electric.
And I honestly think that regardless of which team it is, right now I'm still on the Eagles are going to the Super Bowl train. But I will say this: I would prefer the Niners to win this weekend, just because I can stomach. I'd be terribly crushed, but I could stomach a loss to the Niners. If the
Is that your
Eagles
second
were,
team?
if the Eagles were, no, it's just because if the is if the Eagles were to
Vince wants to
lose the
get married.
NFC Championship to the Cowboys, I would need to like
You
life
could have said
support.
what we were about to say.
I
You're
would kill
allowed.
myself. Yeah.
All right. It's not like you haven't said it
You
before.
already, you said it already. If the Eagles didn't get the 1 seed, you were going to
well-
do it. So
You're
Yeah,
not
and they
in
came
church.
they came this close.
You're
Look,
not at
for real,
Christmas Eve
like,
Mass anymore.
I'm being
Vince
a
was on
coward.
the ledge on the Sunday against the Giants
was.
backups.
Like
he was.
I'm,
He was
be-
like,
I'm
man, what the hell's my game plan?
I'm
here?"
being a coward because I think the Eagles win either way, and like you shouldn't go in with that kind of mentality. But I would much rather lose to the Niners than to the Cowboys. I'd rather lose to any team other than the Cowboys.
Well, I mean, I'm not even thinking like that because I think the Eagles destroy the Cowboys.
Again,
in the
I
NFC
think we would
Championship
win.
game
I'm
at
just
the
saying,
line.
if
No, I
we
know.
had
Watching-
to lose,
But I'm more afraid of Brock Purdy's 49ers than I am of the Cowboys.
Watching what Gardner Minshew did to the Cowboys defense, I have no doubt in my mind we would absolutely destroy
I
the
mean,
Cowboys.
he put up what 40 some points
34.
in Dallas,
Yeah.
or almost 40 points in Dallas. I mean, come on, man. You think Jalen Hurts?
And we still almost won it at the end.
And we almost won it. So listen, I'm not worried about the Cowboys in an NFC Championship game. And that's why I'm rooting for Dallas this week. I think Dallas is the easier opponent. I mean, now you can go Brock Purdy with the inexperience coming into Lincoln Financial Field. He might, pass out of pure horror.
I mean, I agree the Cowboys are an easier opponent. When you compare the two defenses, they're both very good, but the Niners defense is better. And then, like, yes, Brock Purdy could collapse at any moment being a rookie, fucking Mr. Irrelevant in the playoffs. But, like, everyone's, Dak Prescott on Monday against the Bucs played one of the best games of his career. He played awesome.
Except for
stepped
the
up.
opening 5 drives.
He stepped up when they needed him to. But, like, again, I am very, like, I don't buy into one, like, start. Like, I need to see a pattern here, because what Dak Prescott did on Monday is the outlier of his season. He's been
Tampa
awful.
Bay sucks too. Let's keep that in mind.
Dak Prescott has been awful this season. He has thrown so many interceptions. He has looked so bad. What he just did on Monday is an outlier. So, like, I'm expecting him to get back to who he is in the next game or in the possible NFC Championship game.
Speaking of that game, Tom Brady looked very good. I mean, that red zone interception was really that was
Why
the
is he not
dagger
retiring,
in his
dude? Why?
career. He's not coming back. Everyone's saying Raiders,
No, he
Raiders,
is.
Raiders.
He's gonna come back.
He's not going to come back.
Bro, he's
I
not going to go
guarantee
out
it.
like that.
He's
I-
done.
He's not going to go out like that.
He-
No, see,
will.
Pat. No,
What,
I
he
disagree.
wants to go out worse?
I
Yeah.
disagree with both of you. I disagree with Seamus
How?
because he's 100% gonna come back.
No.
And Pat, like, he's not, like, he doesn't want to go out like this. Like, this is the slippery slope
I don't
he
think
has
he cares.
started since he won the Super Bowl as a Buck and didn't
Mhm.
retire after that. Because
Mhm.
now he doesn't want to go out like this. Every year it's going to keep getting worse and
Yep.
worse and worse
And it's
until he
awesome.
gets to go out at the very bottom of the barrel.
And it's
Maybe-
incredible. I will love watching every fucking second of it.
Vince, I'm willing to bet you $50 cash.
Okay,
I mean, I might Venmo you. But
I will bet you
$50,
$50 Tom Brady does not retire.
and I will bet you $50 that Tom Brady is not coming back. We've seen the last of Tom Brady.
Okay.
They've had little to no run game in Tampa all year.
Yeah.
That's what's really.
Tom Brady still
we've
is not very
seen-
good, but he will
We've
be
seen
back.
the last of Tom Brady.
And Mike Evans also just couldn't catch, apparently, on Sunday.
I completely disagree. He'll be
or
back.
Monday.
Well, how about Jalen Waddle?
Isn't it crazy how Tom?
Oh
isn't
my
it,
God, he was horrible. I mean,
Tom
that was
Well,
embarrassing.
I didn't realize we were moving to Jalen Waddle. I was still talking about Tom Brady.
Well, you said somebody couldn't. Somebody said Mike Evans couldn't catch the ball. So immediately I think of Jalen Rager.
what I
and
was
think
gonna
of,
say-
Waddle.
Is imagine, Jalen Waddle is what immediately comes to mind when I think of dropping passes. But anyway,
Well,
Tom Brady
he couldn't
really could have.
catch any.
Tom Brady
Rager
could have
had a
won
good
out
game,
a
too.
Super Bowl champ. He could have been like, "Look at you, fuck you guys. I won a Super Bowl without Belichick. I went to a new team. I won." He could have retired, hung him up, had his family. But instead, that psychotic
Well, he still
motherfucker.
has his family.
Well,
either way.
his wife is gone and fucking other men. That's just
I mean,
the
you
way
don't
of the
know that
world.
for sure.
He has
How about-
nothing to go home
Wait,
to
if you
now.
have proof,
Why wouldn't he
if
keep
you have
playing
video
football?
evidence that Giselle is sleeping with other men, please send it my way. I'm
right,
just saying,
well,
just send it my way.
Dude, you're so
Anyway, that game sucked. I
I just
genuinely
want to
don't know.
verify it.
Yeah,
I
okay.
genuinely don't know why
That's
people
all.
tried to talk their way into thinking the Bucks would win that game. The Bucks have been awful all year. They were in a fucking
I
playoff
was
race
one
with
of
the
those people.
Panthers.
I
No,
thought-
I thought it would have been hysterical if the Cowboys
yeah,
lost.
and I was rooting.
That's the only reason
I was
rooting
rooting
for them.
against the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Yes, I
And-
was rooting against them, but I knew
but
without
now
a
I'm rooting
shred of
for
a
the
doubt they would.
Cowboys.
Like I knew without a shred of a doubt the Cowboys were going to win. The Bucks stink.
Oh, they're
I know.
horrible.
I was trying to justify it in my head. I was like, well, the Cowboys stink too. I mean, like their defense is pretty horrible.
They're
Why
just
did he
better
throw the
than
ball
the Bucks.
60,000 times? too?
66 times.
Are you
How
kidding me?
does a 45-year-old man go out there and throw the ball 66 times?
What's
in a
crazy?
game?
Is
I
Leonard
feel like-
Fournette that bad? I mean,
Yes. Yes.
is that why? Like he can't.
Rashad White, a rookie, has been outplaying him for the second half of the season.
Oh, that's bad, man. That's brutal.
I
That's
feel like
brutal.
Tom
Like-
won't actually be so bad when he gets on a team with an O-line. I feel like a lot of his problems this year were that offensive line is so bad and he's so old, like he just doesn't want to get hit anymore. So he did like
Yeah.
a fuck ton of throwaways
Yep.
and just like bullshit like that because he doesn't want to get hit. And that offensive line is really bad. So I mean, obviously, like Seamus thinks he's gonna retire. Most people
I
are
think
talking
so.
about which team is more likely between like the Raiders or a couple other different teams. But like, if you get an offensive line around Tom Brady, I think he can be decent still. I mean, like,
Absolutely.
No,
yeah, he
He's
can still be
cooked.
decent.
he's cool.
Listen, he's cooked as far as like he is no longer in the conversation of best quarterback, even in the NFC.
Taylor thinks that
but
like
he could be
40-year-old men, it's normal for them to just be quarterbacks like forever,
St-
which doesn't make any sense.
Statistically, this is one of his best seasons, and if as long as he's protected, like Vince says,
He had a very
he's
bad year.
fine in the pocket and he can hit.
Yeah,
open
he
receivers.
just isn't
he
willing to get
embarrassed
hit
himself the
anymore
other night.
because he's so old and fragile. But it depends what team you put him on, what the offense looks like.
Yeah.
I think I don't think he's in contention. You're never going to be mentioning him amongst the best quarterbacks in the conference. But like, I think that he could be fine. I think whatever team he's on will be like hovering right above 500 and miss the playoffs by like a game or two, like or 2 games, 3 games, something like that. Like, I don't think Tom Brady is going to lead a team anymore, but like he could be fine. Also, he's going to sell you tickets. That's why like someone like Vegas might want him.
Yeah, but
because
how do you
that's-
know like he wants to come back? Just because he got embarrassed like
He
that?
he has not made any.
What do you mean? What, Taylor?
he
I'm
hasn't-
sick of your attitude today. Here's my beef.
He
with
hasn't
you.
had a
No,
single
Vince,
inclination
Vince,
that he
hold
was
on
going to
1 second.
retire.
Here's my beef with him. Tower thinks that he like knows football, and that's fine. Maybe he knows a little bit of football, but he doesn't know more than me about football. Here's what I observed about Tom Brady. Taylor, you ready? And I'm not trying to. I don't mean any disrespect, just because you're my elder. this,
After you
that, and the third.
disrespect him.
Yeah.
Well, no,
Yeah, tell me
because
about football.
no, because he cut me off, and I think that's rude. What happened is, Taylor, he retired. He announced his retirement last year. Last year, he announced his
Yeah.
retirement.
But
And
there
then,
was-
How'd that go?
and then he got the facial surgery that makes him look like an alien because he was preparing to go in a broadcast booth. I think that he's going to like sign a deal with Fox or something.
already
this
did.
year.
He already
Yeah.
did. It's
And
waiting
I
for him.
think that's what he's going to do this season. That's all.
He signed that 2 years ago, though. It's been
Is
it's
that
wait.
fine, Taylor?
It's waiting
No,
for him
because you're going
to.
to be wrong.
Well, he
But,
also
like,
you
what
got to
evidence
think.
do
You
you
got to
have?
think because he
do you
also doesn't
mean?
have a family to go home to anymore. He doesn't have to take care of any kids. They're with Giselle.
Taylor, don't
How
tell
do
him
you
he's
know?
wrong
Like,
because
his
he's just going to owe me
situation.
$50.
I mean, he posts his son on his lap, weird,
Kissing
all the
his
time.
neck.
Kissing
No,
his
His
neck.
his neck.
Okay, okay.
Very
I'm
weird,
gonna.
by the way.
I am
Very
gonna.
strange.
No, I don't want to go off on a tangent about that because I think that people
weird.
that I
My
think
dad
people
never
that,
did that to me, and we have a great relationship. All right,
people
So
that
let's just get
sexualize
out
that
of the way.
are a porn addict and they're fucking weirdos.
Or they're just like, hey, that's fucking strange.
No, no,
It
no,
is
no.
strange.
People,
Dude,
no.
he's too
I'm
old for
sorry.
that, Vince.
People-
Bro,
Vince,
he's like
Stop.
15.
Vince,
You
he's
don't
way
know
too
their
old for that.
relationship, bro. It's a
It-
dad and his son.
Oh my god,
It's
Vince.
weird.
It's weird optics. Why are you?
No, what's
posting
weird
it?
is people sexualizing it and thinking about Tom Brady like fucking his kid or something.
Well, dude, I mean, this isn't the
You
first
people
time.
are the perverts.
No. No, the fact that you're defending it, we gotta. Hey, Sarah,
Oh
check
my
his
God.
closets.
No,
Sarah, check his
Cheek,
closets.
people that aren't complete weirdos agree with this.
Taylor, do you think that was weird?
Yeah, that's not normal behavior.
It's not
It's
normal,
not normal
Vince.
behavior.
Vince,
I'm not saying it's
not.
normal.
Vince, if
but,
your
like,
dad started kissing you on the nape of your neck, how would you feel?
How would you feel?
I have a completely unique relationship with my father.
But still.
Yeah, but dude, that's not. That's
No,
bad
it's
optics.
weird. I don't know. It's weird.
Well, I just,
Oh, okay.
I just remember last Super Bowl, right? Or last Super Bowl that the Eagles were in. They won, by the way, the last Super Bowl, and it was against Tom Brady. I remember the ongoing joke was because earlier in the playoffs that year, he kissed his son on the
Yeah, he
lips.
was Frenching his kid.
And it was weird. And I kept saying the whole playoff run and into the Super Bowl, I said, Tom Brady swaps spit with his son.
See, that's
and
weird
it's
to me.
weird.
No, that's
It's
weird to me that
weird.
you're thinking about them making out.
I saw it live. It's not like I made it up. I witnessed it, and he continues to do this. Continues.
He's
Okay,
sucking the youth
I don't
out
want
of him.
to. Okay,
I
anyway.
think it's more normal for AB to post his dick on his Snapchat story, getting head from his baby mom. I think that's more normal than like
Well,
kissing your
it's normal
son.
to AB.
Yeah, because he's not normal. But I'm just saying, I'm not
All right,
saying it is
anyway,
normal.
are
by
we-
the way.
are we-
I'm
what
not
are we-
saying the AB thing is normal. I'm saying it's more normal to post a video or a picture of your baby mom blowing you on Snapchat for the world to see than it is for to be weird with your son.
Okay.
That's
I
true.
don't-
Jamal
I-
Murray has also done that. So
I don't care enough about this topic. So are we going to break down wild card weekend, or are we going to break down the Giants Eagles first?
Or AB size. It's not bad. I think it's overrated.
All right.
I mean, I've seen better.
Seahawks Niners. We'll do that before. We'll save the Eagles for last, I guess. The Seahawks and we already talked about the Vikings Giants. We talked about the Cowboys Bucks. The
Mhm.
49ers and the Seahawks game opened up. The Seahawks looked
gave me hope.
they gave us all hope. They went up at half. I think they were up 17-16.
Yep.
And then they ended up losing the game 41-22. But listen, we're talking about the Niners. We're talking about how scary they are as a potential opponent in the NFC Championship game. That first half should give a glimpse of hope to teams like the Eagles and the
100%.
Cowboys
I
because
did not watch that game. I was at
Brock
work.
Purdy made mistakes. Brock Purdy balls were there to be picked off.
Mhm.
Brock Purdy, a better pass rush could have gotten to him and prevented him from making some runs. Like if you put a defense like the Cowboys defense or the Eagles defense up against a Brock Purdy playing that way, there is chance for you to get a lead early due to some turnovers. Like it's going to be legitimately interesting to see this week. You know, if Micah Parsons is just eating Brock Purdy alive, which I completely expect to happen. But anyway, yeah, that game was good for the first half.
We're sexually assaulting him.
It got boring.
Which he has a history of doing.
Gino is fine. DK Metcalf had 2 touchdowns. He's really good, obviously.
Tyler Lockett's
Kenneth
sucks,
Walker's
though.
good.
Yeah,
It-
he was abysmal.
The
Yeah.
Seahawks,
He was
honestly,
horrible.
the
That
Seahawks
wasn't
are
watching,
honestly
buddy.
like not far from like competing for the division if they like add some more. If Gino remains this as good as he was this year,
He won't.
they just need to build the roster a little bit better, and they like will be a legit team.
Tom Brady's going to the Seahawks.
Isn't
You
he
heard it here
like
first?
how old is Geno Smith?
Probably like 35,
You can't.
No,
you,
that's aggressive.
you
I
That's
feel
can't
too
he's
sign
not
old.
that
somebody
maybe
that
like
old.
31,
Early 30s.
Yeah.
Early
30.
30s.
Yeah.
31, 32 years
He's
old.
been in the
30.
league for 10 years at least.
Well, yeah. Anyway, he looked good. He looked
32.
fine in the first half. The
Thank
second half was mid,
you're
very
technically
fucking mid,
correct.
obviously, as you can tell. But anyway, yeah, that's all I really took from the Niners game is that it gives you a glimmer of hope against them as an opponent. You see some cracks in the armor of Brock Purdy, and we'll see that continue this week potentially.
Real quick, Vince.
Go ahead.
Do you know Geno Smith's birth name? The full birth
No.
name of Geno. I think it's an elite.
Gino.
No, Taylor, tell me if
Gino's
this.
steaks and hoagies.
Tell me if this is not an elite Dan Baker name, right? I'm not going to do the Dan
Oh,
Baker thing.
God.
Don't worry.
Well, you have
But
to.
it-
now.
no,
you have to.
No, you have to.
no,
You have to.
No, no, no.
We're
Come on.
pausing the show until you do.
Taylor's already got my blood pressure.
The show is paused.
His name is Eugene Cyril Geno Smith III. Eugene
That's a long
Cyril.
Oh, I wish he had the third on his jersey. That'd make it so much better.
Eugene Cyril. That's a quality name right there.
There you go. Anyway, later on Saturday we had probably the best game of the definitely the best game of the wild card round, which was the Chargers versus the
Mhm.
Jaguars.
Oh.
This-
But Al Michaels was not very interested
no,
in it.
Al
Yeah,
Michaels,
Al Michaels
he's
is a
washed. He
corpse.
needs
Yeah,
to
he
go.
was not interested.
I,
This
I
game-
luckily did not have to listen to him once
Oh,
because
dude.
I was at
Yeah, I was
Dave
at a
and Buster's
party.
for the whole thing.
It was horrible.
Oh,
There
it
is
was
a
phenomenal.
flag on the play.
This
Dude,
game was
he's
the
and I
inverse.
guess they're
of
not
the-
going to care.
Oh, he's horrible.
This game was the inverse of the Seahawks Niners because the first half was boring in this game,
It's a good
and
word.
then the second half became a
Absolute electric
one of
factory.
yeah. So obviously the Chargers went up like what 24-0, 20 something like that, 24-0.
They were up 30 to 7 at one point, I think.
Yeah.
Was the biggest.
And then the
deficit.
Chargers just did what the Chargers always do, and they choked. Listen, first and foremost, I got to give huge props to Trevor Lawrence. Throwing 4 picks in the first half of a football game and not like in the first half of your first playoff game, I might add, like and not collapsing 100% like mentally is very impressive. So the fact that
Yes.
he came back from those 4 picks and threw 4 touchdowns and led his team to victory is like highly impressive.
It's amazing.
It also makes you understand how Carson Wentz was good when he was here because Doug fucking probably would look at him and be like, "Hey,
Yeah.
I know you turned it over 3 times in the first half, but You got this.
Yeah,
Dude,
And
yeah.
apparently, and Doug just has that effect on guys. Apparently, so you
and it
love to see it.
works.
I've been on
again.
I've been on the ass of 2 teams this whole season, like unrelated to the NFC. You both know what teams
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
talking about, and I feel
Yeah.
like this weekend vindicated me. It pretty much in both of them. One of them was the Chargers and Justin Herbert.
Taylor's horny.
Obviously, I've been saying all year Justin Herbert might be that guy that he like is a talented quarterback, but he's never going to win anything. I feel like he kind of didn't play amazing in the second half of that game. He didn't play really great. I mean, they couldn't get a run game established, which is crazy because Austin Eckler literally is the best running back in football this year. But and then I also always get on them for the injury thing. Like, who can you blame for Mike Williams getting hurt besides yourselves? Like, oh, well, we'd
coach.
be. Yes, exactly. But like, they always do that bullshit. Like, oh, we would have won if so and so wasn't hurt. It's like every single year the Chargers get the injury bug. Like, you obviously have to change something up. That's on you, no one
How did
else.
Staley survive? By the way,
I don't know.
I just don't understand it.
Why are you playing your starters in the fourth quarter of a meaningless fucking
Of a
game?
meaningless game, and by the way, knowing the injury history of Mike Williams, who's made out of glass all of a sudden. I mean, he always
No,
has been
not
pretty
all of
much.
a sudden.
No.
Yeah, he always has been.
I mean, he has been. So
Mike
why would you
Williams
do that?
and
That's a
Keenan
fireable
Allen's
offense right there.
hamstring.
Yes.
Yeah, Seamus, I completely
Keenan
agree
Allen's
with you.
hamstring is made out of like the thinnest rubber band in the entire world.
And that's why I dropped him.
People were ready to talk about how
Unbelievable.
Brennan Staley is the next McVay and he's the next guy, and he's the prince who was promised. But so far, not looking like it. One playoff appearance and you have a historic meltdown. So
An
yeah,
epic collapse.
that game was fun. Shout out to Doug. Shout out to Trevor. It's gonna be fun to see
Yeah,
them
I'm very
play the
happy for
Chiefs.
Dougie P. How about Dougie P
Now-
against Andy?
Yeah, man,
is-
that's great. Two
That's
Eagles
phenomenal.
legends.
I like that.
Now the
I
second
think Andy's
team,
gonna blow him out of the water, but hey.
I do too.
No,
but,
I think Mahomes is going to blow him out of the water.
um,
Nothing to do with Andy.
the second team I was right about all year
Andy gets lucky with quarterback.
was the Bills. Bills beat the Dolphins 34-31. And all year I said
Barely.
about Josh Allen that Josh Allen is great, but he is not on Patrick Mahomes' level. And everyone was on their knees begging for him to get the MVP before the season even started. He comes out and leads the NFL in interceptions and almost loses a home playoff game to the Skylar Thompson-led Dolphins.
Yeah.
Well, I'm always on my knees when it comes to Josh Allen. I mean,
So,
I will
like,
be the first to admit.
I
that.
will just continue to push that same point. Josh Allen is good, but great even. He's great, but he will make one or two mistakes in a game where he will look like the worst quarterback in the whole NFL, and it will cost you against good teams. Like, yeah, you didn't beat the Dolphins, who were led by Skylar Thompson. If
Now,
Tua
Taylor,
play-
can you
if
do me
Tua-
a favor? Taylor, can you break down Skylar Thompson, what you saw out of him?
if Tua plays in this game, the Dolphins win.
Do it.
What do you mean?
Do you think he's going to be a starting quarterback in the league?
No.
To his team.
No,
What
no,
are you
no.
talking
So
about?
no.
Wait,
I'm just
Skylar
saying,
Thompson?
I'm just saying eventually. Will he be a
No.
starting quarterback in the league?
Never.
Skylar Thompson.
Yeah, no. I'm just asking.
He was horrible.
Maybe
So-
he'll be a backup
Horrendous.
So why did the Bills barely beat Miami?
because the
Because-
Bills are not as
because
good as everyone thinks
Josh
they are.
Allen turned it over like a fucking like crazy.
Josh Allen's fraudulent.
Do you,
Yeah.
do you know
Josh
what,
Allen's fraudulent.
do you know
That's
who-
your boy.
I never thought I would admit it. I do admit it now. I was shaking in my boots. I ended up rooting for Miami in that game.
Oh, I was
Oh,
rooting for
100%.
Miami.
And I am no, but you don't understand. I'm a Josh Allen stan. Like, I love Josh Allen. Like, I love the Bills. Like, I honestly, not for nothing, I think they're my AFC team in reality, the Bills, because of Josh Allen. And I ended up just seeing him choke it away. I was like, you know what? Fuck you. Let's go Dolphins. Fins up,
I completely
motherfucker.
believe the Bengals are going to beat the Bills next week. Listen, the Bills to me
Oh,
just
yeah.
aren't. They're not that.
I don't know. The
I don't
Damar
know.
Hamlin
I-
thing, I don't know.
I would
You know
bet
what I mean?
on. I would bet on the
They're,
Bengals.
they're playing for something.
Josh Allen is good for a couple turnovers every game at this point, and they're
And
running.
also, what is he playing for if he's giving up three turnovers a game?
Well,
Hey-
tomorrow's
Oh, wait.
number 3.
Hashtag for tomorrow.
I mean, let's be honest. Maybe he did it on purpose.
But
God's behind
while-
all of this.
While we're on the topic, the Bengals also, they're another team who look kind of fun. This is just showing to me that the Chiefs are going to run the AFC again because
Mhm.
the Bengals would have lost to the Ravens if Lamar Jackson plays.
Yeah.
Because Joe Burrow was very mid. The whole Bengals team, this whole game was so painfully average and mid.
It was so
And, like,
boring.
The only thing that broke the Ravens were possibly going to go up in this game
Mhm.
until one of the most improbable 99-yard fumble recoveries at the goal line happens. And obviously, I'm not going to like bitch about this. I don't care either way. But it is kind of funny how no one has mentioned that Mark Andrews 100% got blocked in the back on that return. Like he was right there to make a tackle.
Yeah, but
and he
the
got-
script writers.
Vince
Yeah,
is
this-
very hung up on the whole Mark Andrews situation.
No, it's
He's
funny.
texted about it
That
like
was
4
a-
times today.
That was a freakish play. Like the fact
Oh,
he was that
100%.
close to tackling.
I'm just saying, like, it is kind of funny how there was no flag on that when it was a clear and visible block in the back. It probably wouldn't have made a difference. The Bengals, at the end of the day, are a better team than the Ravens without Lamar. But, like, so we're talking about the Bills and the Bengals, who both snuck by teams without their starting QB. And in both of these senses, I think they would have lost if the QB plays. Imagine that. We would be in a whole different landscape of the AFC playoff if 2 quarterbacks started. Like, I think the Dolphins win, and I think the Ravens win. And
Yeah,
we
I
have
agree. I agree with that.
It's crazy to think about that, but since we have Bills Bengals, I'll take the Bengals in that one.
I got if I'm putting my money on it, Taylor, I'm going Buffalo because they barely beat Miami, and that was a wake up call. That was a wake up call,
It's a new
Was
week.
it?
and they want
It's a new week.
they want to win it.
But what about? Wouldn't that be a wake up call for the Bengals as well? Just barely beating the Ravens.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think this week you're going to get DeMar Hamlin in the building. He's been in the building.
Yeah, he was in the building the week before that.
Well, no, I get-
he
I
was.
get what I get
on
what you're
Thursday,
saying.
on Thursday the week before is when he first came in the building.
Pat,
All right,
Pat,
well,
but we're
now
talking
he's
about
been there
getting
longer.
we're talking about getting DeMar Hamlin in front of a crowd, getting a crowd riled up.
I think
Okay.
I think that's a thing. I really
That
do.
He was at the
Right.
game.
No, he wasn't.
No, he
Yes, he
wasn't.
was.
Yes, he
No, he
was.
wasn't.
Yes, he
at the game.
was.
He
Yes,
was
he
not.
was.
Yes, he was.
No, he
not.
wasn't. He tweeted that he was watching it at
literally
home.
said that he
Bro,
was not there.
they said he was in the owner's box.
No, he was not
He was
there.
not.
He
was.
wasn't.
They-
He literally
with you,
tweeted that
Pat.
he wasn't.
I'm
Taylor,
pretty sure he was.
you're
in
our
the
producer.
Not
Look into
there.
it. I know for a fact he wasn't.
This
They
is the
said
first week he was even at the Bills
they said
facility.
they said on
No,
the
he was there
broadcast.
last Thursday.
That's
They
fake
said on the
news.
broadcast that DeMar Hamlin tweeted out that he was watching it from home.
From home because he's still on oxygen.
They're saving. I think they're. Yeah,
No,
he
he's
was.
not. He was
I,
walking around.
He's
I'll
still
bet-
on oxygen.
I'll bet either one of you that he wasn't at that game. I know it for a
I
fact.
told you that he wasn't.
No, not you. I'm talking about
Oh.
Pat and Taylor.
But either way, he's definitely going to be there this week.
Yes,
Well, yeah.
And you don't think that's going to light a fire under their ass?
it will. But
It's
the
going to
Bengals,
help.
the Bills still, the Bills
And
do.
Burrow didn't look good at all last week.
Yeah,
No,
but
but-
what
I mean,
did he-
Josh Allen
I mean, I'm gonna
didn't
be honest. He looked great in the first couple drives the last time he played the Bills.
Yeah, no.
Like-
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
Joe Burrow can play mid and average like he did against the Ravens. But the difference between Joe Burrow and Josh Allen is Joe Burrow doesn't turn the ball over like he's giving out candy on Halloween.
Taylor, do you have any updates?
He was at home.
He was
Okay.
at home. All right, that's fine. Well, either
Yeah.
way, he's going to be there this week, I assume.
Yes, he will.
That's
You
going
can't
to
wait for him to tweet out that he's at home.
That's going to light a
Make you
fire.
guys
That would be
wrong.
funny.
All right. Well, by the way, if he does that, fuck it. The Bengals are going to win by 40.
I think the Bengals win
They're
anyway.
gonna win
Just
by
I don't know.
40.
We'll see. I think this is just putting together another year where the Chiefs will waltz to the Super Bowl, like because I
love
think
that word, by
the
the way.
Bengals and the Bills have both looked like frauds. And like I
Oh.
love the Jaguars, and like I'll always root for Dougie P. And you know I like Trevor Lawrence. I'm a fan, but like I just don't think they're ready to bang with a team like the Chiefs again.
You
Yeah,
like ATM or however the hell you pronounce his name. I got to hit the
Travis.
ATM. Yeah, Travis.
Do you know who Josh Allen looked like to me on Sunday?
Saturday.
Frat
think.
boy that
no,
had too many
no,
beers.
like another quarterback.
hold on, let me guess. Can I guess?
Yeah.
White quarterbacks. Let me.
Not literally looked like play wise.
Oh, played like. All right.
Carson Wentz.
yes.
Yes.
Hold on.
No,
to the
no,
ball
literally
for
100%.
way too long.
I literally said that
Yeah.
to my
You think
friends
he-
I
you
was
think
watching
he,
it
you
with.
think he looked like Carson Wentz?
Yes, he looked like a deer in
Like-
headlights when
like-
the fucking pocket was collapsing.
Yeah,
Okay.
like those
Jo-
like what are you doing plays?
Yeah.
Josh Allen. Those
Trying
are-
too hard, trying to play hero ball.
Yeah, that's textbooks Carson. Wentz.
Literally
Alright.
to a T.
he still has those
Well, Carson
tendencies
Wentz
from
has a
his
chance
rookie
then.
year, man. He still has
Yeah.
those from his rookie year from college. He still has that desire to
'Cause he
just
lost
make the
Brian
most
Dable.
irritating play ever. Brian Dable is a great coach. Facts.
Did you
Yeah.
call
So
him fat?
no, I said facts.
Oh, okay. All right.
He's definitely fat.
Yeah. No, I mean,
I mean,
I wouldn't
yeah,
say
he
he's
is.
fat.
You,
I-
what would you say?
I
he
think
is?
he's big boned. I love the guy. I think he's adorable too. He's like one
Teddy
of the,
bear.
He is.
Oh,
He is.
yeah.
I guarantee you, if he
You're
was
such a weirdo.
if he was a single man and he went to the bar, he
Oh,
would get
God.
flocked by.
All right.
females.
Anyway, so we wrapped up all those games.
He looks
Eagles
like a
Giants
big,
is what we
cute
got.
bulldog.
But I
we got
would like to
coming
say
up.
one more thing about the Bills Dolphins game. That might have
Go
been
for
the longest game of
Oh,
football
dude,
Yeah,
I
it
have
was.
ever watched in my
Frank
life.
the
That was
Tank had to leave the
so-
game early.
that
to
was
catch a
so
flight.
painstakingly long. I wanted to die for that entire fourth quarter.
I know.
Yeah.
dude,
That was horrible.
that was ridiculous.
Well,
I
you
was
didn't
just like,
like
what? Why aren't we just? Let's just call it. At
I
this
could have been
point.
doing
Like,
other
Also-
things.
I am very torn on Mike McDaniel. He's getting a lot of shit for the clock management, which yes, it was horrible.
down the field.
It was so bad.
But
Does
also-
Mike
Mike
McDaniel
McDaniel,
deserve credit for even having his team in position to win against the
Yeah.
Bills
Also
with
known
Skylar
as-
Thompson at quarterback?
The doppelganger of Francisco Rojas.
Yes.
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 So
Looks
like
exactly like the guy.
Mike McDaniel, horrible clock management at the end of the game. Like he deserves shit for that. But like also let's respect the fact that his team was in a position to beat the Bills with his third string QB on the road.
Yeah, I mean,
listen,
you
I
got-
think McDaniel did a great job.
Yeah,
keeping
you
them
got a
in that
rookie
game.
coach, rookie QB, third string. Like that was nuts that they put that on. Obviously, like you said, clock management horrible. But and obviously he was ripping that weed pen on the sideline. So
He was hitting the
he might
vape.
have
That's
Was that
very
convert-
funny.
That was either. I had to have been. I feel like I would go weed.
Well, I mean, it had to be because
No.
one, you're from Miami.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
He
If
would
they don't
not get
test for it
high
anymore.
during a game.
They don't test for it anymore in the NFL.
Hopefully,
just
no
hopefully
way.
Odyssey doesn't drug test.
You're
him.
getting driven everywhere.
Francisco.
Guys, there
Um,
is no way he would take the chance of getting caught smoking weed on the sideline.
Maybe he's one of those I don't give a fuck guys. You know,
Yeah.
there's a lot
What's
of
more
that.
I mean,
likely,
he
that or
literally
he was just
showed
smoking
Tua-
nicotine?
He literally got Tua right on the fucking plane and showed him a movie right after he had a massive concussion. So he's
yeah,
not the
two things-
smartest.
he's not
The
bright.
two things
He's
you
not
aren't
the
supposed to do.
smartest.
Not bright.
I don't know. I just don't.
Maybe he got
buy
like a
into that.
nice little head high, you know, from
All right.
a Nick stick. You know?
Anyway,
Who
the
knows?
Eagles and the Giants. That's the game we're looking forward
and
to the
Enjoy
most.
from Wawa. They got Wawas down there. now, so-
Philadelphia, 8 o'clock on Saturday. And I don't know. What do you guys think about this game? What
well,
are your
first
thoughts?
of all, Vince, all right, we could talk about the game in a second, but what are your plans? This is a big deal. This is a communal thing for the city of Philadelphia.
Jesus
What are your plans for the big game?
I will not be tailgating, but I'm going to go
Okay.
to a bar somewhere.
You're going to go to a bar. See, I'm
Ooh.
against going to a bar on an important game day like this, but that's just my personal opinion. Because I find it hard to concentrate.
My thinking is that if you go tailgate, you're stuck either going to Xfinity or getting in the miles-long subway line to get to the city,
What if I were
or
to tell you
waiting
I know a
an
guy?
hour and a half for an Uber. So
What if
I'd
I were to
rather
tell
just
you I know a guy with an Airbnb that says come back to the house after the tailgate. We'll have a good time. We'll have some we'll have some drinks and watch the game. What if I told you that in Center City?
I'd tell you that I'm probably going to go to a bar in Center
Okay.
City.
All right, that sounds good.
But
Sounds good.
that's
Sorry,
why I
Steve,
don't.
tried.
That's why I don't love the going to the tailgate like on a game like that, because like it's impossible to get into Xfinity Live. It's kind of a fucking sin against our city that Xfinity Live is isolated as like the only
Yeah.
bar everyone goes to there. Like we need more bars.
Gatehouse.
This is Gatehouse.
Well,
is one-
Gatehouse is phenomenal. I
We-
mean, it
we-
is absolutely phenomenal.
I
They have
think-
Kenny's there too.
I think as from the
They don't have
nosebleeds,
Bud
we
Light,
could
though.
Yeah,
as from the
fuck
nose
that
as the
place,
from the
obviously.
nosebleeds podcast, we can make our like
Oh,
niche
fuck that
intro.
place.
Okay, as I was saying, as of the podcast from the nosebleeds, we can make like our niche like Philadelphia thing, like fighting for more bars in around the stadiums. I
Listen,
feel like we can make that our personal fight.
I don't have any pull with this city council.
No, but
gotta
we-
get,
Seamus, we
we
could start a
gotta get
movement,
Nutter
brother.
Back in there, the St. Joe's Prep guy who's a friend
Seamus,
of Roman.
start
we
a
gotta
movement.
Get him back in there.
We could start a movement, Seamus.
I'm all about starting movements, Vince. I'm very
Bowel
familiar.
movements.
Yeah, bowel movements, especially
All right.
after the Wendy's. No, but
What do you-
seriously,
What are
Well,
your guys'
listen.
plans for the game?
my plan for the game has not been determined yet. But in a big game like this, I want to be sober. Maybe a couple hits
All right,
of my
that's
medicinal
crazy.
marijuana pen. But I want to be sober until about the 2-minute warning in the first half. 2-minute warning, then I'll start drinking because I'm either going to be happily drinking or like, holy fuck, Daniel Jones is going to beat us. He's going to run us out of the link. In which case, I will be angry, Seamus, and I will be hitting the totally do hard. So I think I'm going to stay in. The
I will be nowhere near
no,
Seamus.
I'm going to be in the comforts of my own house or my friend Steve's house, because he can handle me. You know what I mean? He'll just throw me on the streets. But so yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
Pat,
you're
how
gonna
about
be
you?
at the- I think I'm going to go to the tailgate, meet up with Pat, drink some water down there with Pat, and then I'll figure it out.
Bro, if you're coming to the tailgate, there's no shot you're drinking water.
I'm going to be hammered. I'm
Yeah,
gonna be
not surprised.
Absolutely destroyed.
Yeah, no, you're not gonna remember the game.
We got to link up with the Fink.
Yeah, they're doing a tailgate.
If
yeah.
we go to the tailgate, we got to link up with the Fink.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
free beers.
And
Not gonna say no.
Devin
To-
Caney's going to be there, I believe.
Yep.
To shift to
pride
the
of WIP for some reason.
to shift to the actual game itself, like my thinking, I think we're all on the same page. We all believe the Eagles will win this game, and like I don't know, man. I feel like people have forgotten because Jalen played hurt in that last game of the year, and they didn't look amazing. And also, like, it's pretty obvious. And I think I saw a report that the coaching staff of the Eagles kind of knew that there was a good chance we'd play the Giants in the playoffs, and like that's why they didn't open the playbook up exactly in that game once they got up. So like, I think people have forgotten that like a couple weeks before that we fucking blew the hinges off their doors and like destroyed them.
48-22.
So like, I still completely believe we are a way better team than the Giants, and there's no reason we shouldn't win this game. If Jalen Hurts is even 80%, like everyone's like, oh, he's not 100%. Find me a player right now who's 100%. That's not how football works. Everyone is
Tua.
working. Everyone is working at a lower percentage because of the wear and tear you take over the course of a football season. So, yeah, I fully believe the Eagles should beat the Giants like pretty handedly. I don't, like I said earlier, I don't think that beating the Vikings is like that impressive. So I'm not exactly on this like Giants or elite train or anything. So I think the Eagles win quite easily.
Vince, I absolutely agree with you. I think that they could win. I know Tower thinks that it's going to be closer. He actually does know much more about football than I do. But to be fair, in my defense, he produces and is part of Bell and the Bourbon, and that's a football show. So obviously he knows
I watch
more.
the games.
But that is the only reason why you know more. It's because you have more experience watching football. That's not my fault.
The Eagles opened at what?
You're
An
much
8.5
older
point
than I am.
favorite?
9.5, wasn't
Seven.
it?
Not.
No,
Yeah,
opened at 7.
I would take them to
It
cover.
opened
I would take them to cover any of those three. I think they win by 10
I think
plus.
they could win by 3 or 4 scores.
I
think
I
they
wouldn't be surprised.
I think they could.
I'd say 10 plus.
All right,
Yeah,
that's
I wouldn't be surprised if it's 10 plus at all.
but here's the thing.
I don't buy the Giants.
I don't.
So Vince, and everyone else, do you guys believe in putting like negative energy into the universe? Like, do you think that's like actually a thing?
No.
No. So I don't either. But I do want to like.
But I might believe it.
No. I want to experiment with something here.
No experimentation.
God forbid.
No, shut the fuck up.
God forbid.
Nope.
What happens? I think Sirianni gets fired. I think
Oh, I
Sirianni.
thought you were gonna say like somebody gets hurt.
No. I think if Daniel Jones comes into the link and like let's say they win by 3 touchdowns and Jalen's fine, right? Jalen's like health wise, I'm meaning. I think something's gonna happen. Because there is absolutely
Bold
no
take.
there is absolutely
I
no
don't think
way.
so.
There's absolutely no way that they lose this game.
So it's funny that you say this.
I'm just trying to
because
think of like if that happened.
I just last night finished up watching the Wrexham AFC show with Rob McElhenney and Ryan Reynolds, and there's one episode where Rob goes to Philly and talks to both Coach Sirianni and then goes to Laurie and asks for him for advice because he's now the owner of a soccer team. So he wanted to get some advice from owner to owner, and Laurie said literally that the way that he views it is if it looks like the culture of the team is making them on an upward trajectory going forward over the next 5 years, there's no shot he's going to fire a coach. So like that alone just kind of solidifies, like obviously Sirianni has a winning culture with this team.
Yeah.
And like the
No
way
doubt.
he is cultivating this team and like the locker room is incredible. And it's like I don't think that he's gonna get fired.
No, and I don't think they lose the game either. I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
that's why, dude. Please blow them out, because, dude, if this city is already like negative about the Eagles, which they are. I mean, people are saying, well, Jalen's not 100%. I don't know
Dude,
about this. I don't know about that.
I'm at the point where I think like I actively think that like the reporters or radio personalities in the city, like they have to just root against the team, right? Like
Well, so
It-
they have
it-
something to talk about.
I don't think so. I
No,
think
it
I think
literally-
people like Angelo Cataldi, not for nothing. I think he thrives when the Eagles are not doing well.
every single time I turn on, so I've been driving my dad's car to work and home the last couple
Silly thing to
weeks,
say.
and every single time it's the only time I ever listen to any like sports talk radios.
can't
Every
relate to that.
single time I listen, it's nothing but like, oh, the Eagles aren't good because of this, and who knows, Jalen's not healthy, and oh, they actually aren't even that good. I just feel like I never hear them talking positively
Well,
about
They
the
need
Eagles.
something to talk about
Well-
that'll get callers riled up and get people interacting with
It's
them.
such
to be
a
fair,
fucking
to be fair, and I'm not
stupid
saying this is a
thing.
bad thing, but the Odyssey station in the city of Philadelphia is very, very, very dramatic when it comes to Jalen Hurts' shoulder injury. Because all I heard last week on that station was, listen, he's not 100%. Why isn't he throwing? This was last Friday. Remember when he wasn't throwing, and that was
Yeah.
this whole thing. Why isn't he throwing? It's Friday. I know it's a bye, but it's still Friday. He should be throwing. Based on what, by the way? It's you're okay, if it was a Friday and there's a game on Sunday, yeah, we got a problem if he's not throwing. But it's just ever since Jalen got hurt, it's like they play doctor almost, and they're like, oh yeah, well he's definitely like more hurt than Sirianni's lying to us. Sirianni's definitely lying to us, and it's like, well, you don't know that for sure. And lo and behold, today the injury report came out, or yesterday, I forget what day it came out. Yesterday it came out. He's not even on the injury report.
And neither, by the way, is Josh Sweat.
Neither is Sweat,
which is fucking.
The only
huge.
people on there are Maddox and
Lane,
Robert
Quinn.
Oh, he's whatever.
Whatchamacallit? What's his
It's
name? The
crazy
fat
how
guy?
much of a
Linval.
ghost he's
Yeah,
been.
Linville Orchards, whatever.
Like, listen.
Well, I
like,
mean,
what
he
I
was injured for like 5 weeks.
Right.
What I said a couple minutes ago is like, still how I feel. Like, no one is 100% at this point in the year. Like, let's wait to see what Jalen looks like, in a game where he's probably going to be unleashed, unlike he was in Week 18. So, like, I don't know. Let's wait on it. Like, it seems like so many people just want him to be hurt, so they have something to talk about, and it pisses me off.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, it's also they're preying on the people that they want to call in and like stir up controversy and shit, so people will call in and like yell about it and all that shit. So it's like,
Yeah.
I take zero stock in what any of those.
Oh,
people
100%.
No,
Like,
and you can't. I mean, like, to be fair, like Sports Talk Radio is not much different than the talking heads nationally,
Yeah.
right? Like, it's they're based in Philadelphia.
You're
obviously,
playing a
major
character.
market. You're playing
Like,
a character.
These
Mhm.
people play
you
characters.
have to get people to call into the station and to interact and to
Mhm.
listen. And so I understand it. I listen to it because first I just love Sports Talk Radio.
Morons.
I get entertained by it. I don't go to Sports Talk Radio for information or for facts. I go for entertainment. And I do think that there are some people in the city that are very good at what they do. But at the end of the day, Sports Talk Radio locally is entertainment. And that's what all those first take and the Undisputed with Skip and Jack, that's all entertainment. That's all it is.
I know.
And for people to get riled up, oh my God, can you believe Stephen A. Smith said this? Can you believe Colin Cowherd said this? Can you believe whatever, said this or that? It's like, well, yeah, because their job is quite literally to entertain / cause controversy / get ratings. So, I mean, listen, if you want facts, watch sports and listen to podcasts that are devoted to analytics or
formulate your own opinion
formulate your own opinion. But,
instead of
yeah.
just taking one that's from somebody else and running with it.
Right, and I just think it's entertaining to be flat out honest with you. I get sick of it sometimes because sometimes it's
No,
the
you
same.
don't.
Yeah, I do. Sometimes
I
it's
don't
the
blame
same shit all the time. So I switch to different markets, and they entertain me in different markets.
He loves his Josh Innes.
Yeah, I do. Josh Innes is doing great things with the Nashville Rock and Roll Station. I will say that. But what a fall from grace he had. What a fall from grace. I'm not getting into that one. That's a whole can of worms.
Back
Didn't
to the
you talk
game.
all last week about how he was fighting Gargano?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Any updates on that story?
Well, dude,
from 4 years ago.
I had no idea that Anthony Gargano allegedly threatened Josh while they were co-workers.
That's awesome. I
It's
love
hilarious.
that for him.
It's very funny.
It's incredible.
It's pretty good. That would be like, Barchard, sticking a knife into Tower's neck.
What?
After an episode of Bell and the Birdman. Barchard's like, hey, you know what, Taylor? I didn't like the audio last week. You want to go outside and
Is that
fight?
your John?
You want to go outside and fight?
He's kind of close, honestly.
And then Vince Quinn's like, John, come on, don't fight Taylor. I mean, we need him. I don't know. I don't know.
Taylor's trying so hard not to laugh.
All right, well,
No, I mean, I'm trying to comprehend which is which voice because they sound the same.
well, since it's the playoffs, I'm not big into like score predictions, but I'm going to give one, and you guys are more than welcome to give one. I think the Eagles are going to win 35 to whatever's less than 4 scores from 35.
What?
What?
35-7. I go Eagles. 35-7. I think our defense is too good. I think Daniel Jones. I was going to say collapse, but
Still not
I
4
don't want to say
scores.
that. But I think Daniel Jones is a deer in headlights.
Yes.
So I say I shouldn't have said that. And I apologize. But Vince, do you have any final score prediction?
I think I'm leaning. I'll say so. I don't know for sure concrete, but I'll say something around 30-17, something like that.
Yeah. Well, nobody knows for sure. These are just
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the Giants put up 20. That's
Saquon-
as close as I'm going to go to a score
Saquon's the only thing that scares me on that team. We do have a great run defense though, so that
prediction.
helps.
We actually contained the
tremendously.
shit out of him.
if
Yeah.
Saquon
The first
gets
game we had
if
against them, though.
Saquon gets a slight cold and doesn't feel well.
My
I mean,
relationship
Saquon only had like 20-some yards the first time we played them.
my relationship with Saquon Barkley is it
Intimate.
sucks because I loved him at Penn State. Like I've always said, is like the closest thing to a fandom I have in college football, and he was like my favorite player like there. So like
With a
him
history of the culture over there. Interesting.
it's not the greatest.
No.
I heard. But no, Saquon was electric.
Good
I
pun
loved
there,
him,
buddy.
and it sucks that he had to end up on a rival team because now I have to root against him all the time. But like he's electric, and I want to root for him. But no, he's the only thing that scares me. But like Pat said, we contained him. We can do it again. We have a great run defense. So yeah, I think maybe like Saquon gets a touchdown. Danny Dimes probably throws like one or runs one in. So there's 14, and I think they hit a field goal somewhere in there. So there you go.
Hey Taylor, any predictions?
Probably Eagles only by 6. I think it's going to be.
So you think it's going to be close, and that's not a very hot take at all. I think the majority of the country thinks that it's going to be a close game, but
Taylor
I
got scared of Danny Dimes against the 31st ranked defense.
Taylor,
I can tell. I can see it in his eyes.
Taylor, but do you understand what I'm
He's
saying?
quivering over there.
In that it's still the New York Giants, it's
I
still
understand.
it's still Daniel Jones, and it's still Lincoln Financial Field.
There's a ton of trends of 1 seeds that are more than a touchdown favorites, not really living up to that.
No,
expectation,
I understand that. I just think that this team is. I think they're ready, man. Like I think the Eagles are.
I'm
gonna,
saying they're winning.
No.
God damn.
I just think they're going to demolish them.
I've been a
I think they're gonna blow their
Giants.
brains out.
I think we've all been a Giants aren't as good as their record all year type
Yeah, they're frauds.
podcast. We thought they were frauds all year, and you know what they have in common with the team they beat. We also all thought the Minnesota Vikings were frauds. So again, I'm not hopping on
Big
this
point differential.
bandwagon of like. But suddenly believing the New York Giants are like a threat to the 1 seed because they beat the shitty fucking Vikings, who suck, who stink. Kirk Cousins is their fucking quarterback. Did people really think the Vikings would
Kirk
do
played
anything?
great.
Yeah,
Their
until it came
defense
down to
was
the last
terrible.
play
Yeah,
where
4th
he
and
had
8 throwing 3-yard passes.
That is
very,
the perfect
very good.
way to end a Kirk Cousins game.
4th and 8. He goes, oh, here you go. Well, I tried to. I got the ball out of my hands. He
And
didn't
Taylor,
run.
that game is a perfect example of what
stinks.
Kirk Cousins will do. He will keep tricking people because he'll have decent to good regular seasons, and then maybe he'll play decent to good enough in this game. But when
Alpha
it
male Kirk
matters, he
Cousins.
won't win it. When it matters, he will not win a game like this or
Yep.
any game
He
like this
folds
or
and
any big
folds and
game.
folds.
But
Hold
the
on,
fact
Taylor's
that he
getting ready to slob
on.
on Kirk's knob.
the fact that he played good in the regular
We have
season, the
Nick
fact that he
Adams
played
coming
fine
up
in
on
that
the show,
game
ladies and
is going to
gentlemen.
trick people into continuing to bring him back and continuing to pay him.
I agree, Vince. I think
Okay.
Kirk Cousins is a fraud.
I thought he was fine that game. It's not that hit.
I think 4th and 8 is just a great decision.
Okay,
by
yeah,
him.
1 play.
Yeah,
But anyway, my
one
point-
play.
my
With the
point on-
season on the line.
My point on this was that like the Giants beating them doesn't make me fear the Giants now. I don't suddenly think
No.
they're a threat to the 1 seed.
It
at
gave me
all.
Kyle
They're
Schwarber
still-
bunting in the World
They're
Series.
still
vibe.
that same team that I view as frauds that they've been since the beginning of the year.
Mhm.
So
I
that's
agree
all I
with
have to say.
All right, so we're going to do our segment where we each rattle off. And Taylor, you're more than welcome to participate to wrap
I
up
don't
the
know
show.
if we have time tonight.
Well, Vince, you can fire yours away.
Real quick, I guess I'll get this in here at the end. Obviously, everyone was following the Flyer situation last night with Provorov
What
and
happened?
not wanting to wear the LGBTQ jersey on Pride Night, and he didn't take the ice. But did he play in the game? I don't even
He
remember.
did.
Yeah, he
He
played.
just didn't. Okay, but he didn't wear that jersey.
He didn't want to wear the jersey with a rainbow on it. God forbid.
Let me just say that I guess I'll go on a limb here. If you're gonna fall back on religious beliefs to hate and be prejudiced against a group of people and not accept the way they were born or live, you're a piece of shit. And also, fuck the Flyers for your whole like LGBTQ inclusion night really rings hollow when one of your players openly does not like gay people and you have not a word to say about it. You don't punish him at all.
They did
So
release
it's
a
like,
statement. though.
How
So that's wrong.
inclusive are you really being for LGBTQ people when one of your players hates gay people and you don't do anything about it?
Listen, I think, real quick, I think Provorov was obviously wrong, and to use religion is just an absolute excuse
A cowardly
to be-
way.
to be
because
hateful.
It's
And
actually
but I don't blame the Flyers organization at all.
You ever-
In fact, they released a statement saying that they, where they stand with the inclusion of LGBTQ.
they should, yeah, but they're doing the whole like
in
we
hockey.
respect his right to believe what he believes, which is absolute
Yeah,
bullshit.
because you'd have a huge lawsuit on your hands if you didn't.
I think
How?
the Fly- I
Who
think
would
the Flyers
sue?
Because
handled
then
it
he
fine.
has grounds to sue them.
I think the Flyers
Based off
handled
what?
it fine. I
Wait,
think
what would
they
he
handled
sue
it
them
fine.
for?
for violating his right to religious freedom.
That's not as a private organization.
That's
You have
neither here
no.
nor there. We all
Yeah,
collectively agree
As a
that-
private organization,
that-
you have no right to uphold that.
that Provorov is a bigot. I mean, like that,
Yeah,
and he's using
100%.
religion as an
it's
excuse.
it's very funny how, and this might be my last point. I know we have to wrap up. It's always funny how people like Provorov and other, I'll use Christians for example because I believe he's a Russian Catholic Orthodox or whatever.
Yeah,
It's always funny how
Russian
people
Orthodox.
like that, they're so inherent that they have to follow their religion, which I don't even think it says anything about being against gay people, but it's always like, oh, well, my religion doesn't accept this, so I have to be against it. But people like Provorov, his religion prevents men and women from living together before they're married. He lives with his girlfriend. It prevents premarital sex. I guarantee you he's not a virgin. All the and then
That'd be
take it
interesting
towards
if he
take it
was.
towards Christian people.
All
They're
right.
like, oh, well, I have to be against gay people because my religion is. Yet they get tattoos, they eat shellfish, they curse, they work on Sundays.
They work on
Why-
Sundays, which you should be stoned to death.
They drink
Why-
dirty water.
My point
Yeah,
is,
how about
why
that?
is it that
Scumbags. What, you
the
live in
only
Jersey?
why is it the only part of the religion that these people have to staunchly follow is the part that includes hating gay people or hating people that are different?
Because
that's
they
the
just
only
hate
part-
gay people.
That's the only part that
And
these
they're
people
using
follow.
religion as an excuse.
'Cause
They're cherry pickers.
If Ivan Provorov really felt like he had to follow his religion, to a T, why is he living with his girlfriend? Why has he had premarital sex?
Why did he ever get a haircut? You're
Because
not supposed to get a haircut.
it's
You know,
just
that's
all
in the
fraud.
scripture, too.
It's all fraud shit. And it's absolutely fucking insane that we still have to deal with this. And
I agree.
Lawton, I believe his name, he has a gay brother, and
Scotty Lawton, baby.
everyone was clapping and saying like, oh, he showed such class in his answers. It's actually fucking bullshit that he even has to, be the bigger person or show class when someone in your locker room that you consider a brother or a friend is saying like, hey, what your brother does is disgusting and I don't support it. But that's just my opinion.
And by the
like-
way, I was very shocked, not for nothing, to see Tony D'Angelo.
Yeah, I couldn't
the ice.
believe
I
that.
actually couldn't believe my eyes,
I could not believe that.
knowing his history.
Because he, I guess, unlike Provorov, realizes this is a league-wide initiative and like get out there because your team told you to.
I think
which
he
is
just has
again,
too much bad press.
that is
honestly.
why
He's
that
like,
is why the
I
Flyers
can
should
definitely
have.
afford to wear a goddamn
That-
rainbow. For
That is
5
why the
seconds.
Flyers should have punished Provorov because he went against a league-wide initiative.
That's fair. And by the way, John Tortorella could have benched him. Like, there's no doubt about that. He could have benched him.
Would have been appropriate.
Listen,
That's all I
I
have to
just
say.
I just don't really have a problem with the way Tortorella or the Flyers organization handled this specific situation. Personally, that's just my opinion. My beef is with Provorov for just being a hateful bigot. That's my beef. And
Do
using
you-
religion as an
Do you
excuse.
see my
I
point
don't
at all
blame
though?
the
With
Flyers.
you see my point?
Absolutely, I absolutely see your
Your
point.
message of inclusivity rings hollow when one of your players openly hates gay people and is not punished for it.
Yeah, but that's like saying.
But it's also like
like
you
some-
have to
dude,
understand
if
the
you-
business side of things too, because
But if
you
you're the
literally can get a
CEO
lawsuit against
Bench-
you
bench him
as
for
a
pro-
company.
Bench
You
him
can
for
get a lawsuit. It doesn't matter if
Pat,
you're private or
Pat, you
anything.
cannot. Yes,
I'm
no,
just
it
telling you
does.
from an actual business perspective. It does not matter
you
because my
cannot-
parents have a private company, and if they openly were against somebody and they were trying to force someone to do something because of their religion, or they fired them because they were some sort of religion, then you can come right back and sue the company.
No
Yeah,
one's
You
fi-
can. You
no-
can. I've
company
talked
loses
so
money.
many times about
No
this. with
one
my
is
mom.
punishing. No one is punishing Ivan Provorov for being a Russian Orthodox Catholic, but he refused to take part in a league-wide initiative.
But
that
by
is
citing
ground.
his religion,
That's
is where
grounds
it
to-
gets
no, there's-
hairy.
I don't. There's grounds to be.
callous, but-
He could be benched. Do you
Leave
think
him out of
Ivan?
this.
You think Ivan Provorov would go to court because he got benched in a game?
If
I highly fucking doubt
if the Flyers punished him, he would definitely appeal.
That's the punishment he should have had. He shouldn't have.
no,
been
no,
able
no.
to
But
play
like
in
you
the
were
game.
like it seemed like earlier, at least you were saying like fine or something.
I
That's
I
kind of
don't.
more what it seemed like.
I don't think.
But
that
I'm
he
just
deserved-
saying, like, if he had been punished in any way, then like a more serious way, obviously, then I think there would have been a lot more issue.
At
I
the
think the
very
Flyers did
least,
the right
you
thing
at
in
the very
releasing a
least,
statement.
you shouldn't allow him to play in the game where he's protesting gay people because he doesn't.
And they could have, yeah,
agree
and
with their
they also
existence.
could have handled that a lot better by just saying he had an injury for the day.
My point is, like, people, like, well, I would not feel bad for Ivan Provorov if he was punished in any way, and fuck him if he wants to sue, whatever. But like, people are like, oh, what about his right to believe what he wants? Like, dude, gay people get murdered every day behind the hatred that he is spewing like this and openly, like, oh, well, I just don't agree with it. Like, people die because of this shit,
Yeah,
and you have a
there's
guy
no doubt.
Yeah.
on a national presence now. Now it's a national stage because of this. When you're spewing that kind of shit, all it does is open up gay people to suffer more violence, more bigotry against them. Like, it's fucking disgusting. And I don't know. I get what you're saying, Pat. I do. I think he just shouldn't have been able to play in that game. That's it.
Yeah. And just to clarify, I'm obviously very against all of this. I'm
Yes,
just thinking
obviously.
From
We
the
all are.
Flyers business
As
perspective,
a show,
why,
we all are.
why they're doing
Yes,
this.
I know. I don't mean to make it seem like you guys aren't on my
Yeah.
side. I know you are. We just have slight differences in the whole blaming the Flyers thing, which
Mhm.
obviously it's
And
tricky. But
Hopefully
at the
Provorov gets traded.
yeah, I just can't believe we're still talking about this kind of shit in 2023.
to
But
wrap
anyway,
it
that's
up-
the end of it.
To wrap it up, Philly spring training starting soon. Go Birds.
Hell yes.
Go Birds.
Bring 'em
All
back,
right,
baby.
beat the Giants, baby. Talk to you guys next
Go
week.
Birds.
If we lose to the Giants, dude, I'm gonna do something bad to myself.
Thank you all for listening.
All right, peace.